Howdy, this is Pete Coors. We're in the Cille and Ron Williams yards this morning, and the 117th National Western Stock Show. I'm here with fellow board members Bruce Wagner and Guy Meckendeffer, and Kevin Ochsner's wonderful Colorado farmer and cattle raiser, and we're glad to be here, and thanks for being at the stock show.
Well, I'm glad to be here. It's been a long time since our family's been back in the yards. We've shown here for years, ever since Dad had the 1960 Catch-It Calf champion at the National Western Stock Show. So our family has a long history here at Denver, but it's been a few years since we've exhibited in the yards, and we're back here this year and loving every minute of it.
Well, what do you like particularly about being back?
You know, I think there's several things. Obviously, there's nothing quite like Denver in terms of the people that it attracts. I mean, the National Western Stock Show, I still believe is the Super Bowl of the cattle industry. We have the best genetics and the most progressive ranchers down here at the National Western, and so you get to see and meet lots of good folks. But what I love today is these beautiful facilities. These are gorgeous. I don't get splinters in my hands anymore. We're able to wash cattle and rinse cattle and get them prepared to the very best. And then, of course, the show arena is absolutely magnificent, and so it's a great place to host customers.
Well, and we can actually carry on a conversation out here without those generators running.
I like that, and with today's fuel prices, I'm glad I'm not paying for that gas to run those generators.
Yeah, I think we've really been working hard to make this a good experience for you guys, and because we want you to come back, and it's great to have you back.
Well, I can tell you, from our breed's perspective, clearly a lot of folks went to Oklahoma City the first couple of years, but this year we had 5 times more pens and carloads here than we did in Oklahoma City. And I think people understand the commitment you all have made to the National Western Stock Show. I believe they recognize that this is the place to not only display but merchandise registered seed stock, and I think this is coming back in a big way.
Well, it's we're pretty excited about what's going on, and I don't know, some people, we're worried about losing the heritage here, the old pens and the bricks, and I think people seem to be settling in pretty well.
I think so. There's a lot of special memories when you walk those cobblestone bricks and run across that catwalk, and I just have fond memories. A picture hanging in my house of the very first heifer I bought here at the stock show in 1977 as a 10-year-old against those old wooden yards, and those hold a lot of special memories. But I think we can have both tradition and progress in one place here, and this is a place to do it.
Yeah, one of the things we're doing to that point is we've collected hundreds and hundreds of bricks, and we're going to place them in the Legacy building and have a brand wall there. That If you haven't bought a brand yet, you need to buy one.
I am, yes. Yes, I want the K-Spear brand
K-Spear.
represented.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So a lot of that nostalgia is going to exist. We're using some of the lumber in some places on the front of the Stockyard Exchange building, and so I'm glad you brought that up, and it'll be exciting to pass that on to the next generation.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat heritage. I won't say where, but I have seen a couple of those gates that people got away with before you preserved them, and so I know they're in ranches and places across the country, not mine. But there are just a lot of really, really good memories, and this was the last bastion of that stockyard experience that where so many cattle were marketed across the Midwest and West. And so I think there were a lot of us that were hopeful that we wouldn't lose all of that when you come in and pave over it and put, new portable pens. But I think the functionality of this more than compensates for the quote-unquote nostalgia that we lost. And if you can recreate that in some of the displays, that'll be pretty special to those of us who have, years and years of history here.
One of the great things I think about that I've come to realize since I've been involved with the National Western is how generational it is.
Yeah.
Because you're second or third generation?
I'm second generation exhibitor here.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And your daughter's here and helping out and exhibiting with you?
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've, so the history a little bit for us is that, as I said, I don't think my dad exhibited here before 1960. That was the year he had that Catch-It Calf. I started exhibiting when I was, I believe, 9 years old. But even before that, my mom and dad have a picture, a black and white picture at home when I was about 3 or 4 years old. They were exhibiting feeder calves in the big feeder calf, contest down here, pens of feeder calves. And at that point in time, it was interesting because I got tired. They threw me in one of those wooden bunks, threw a bunch of downfilled coats over top of me, and there's a picture of me sleeping. And then, of course, not only that, but I had an opportunity to judge here in the collegiate judging contest. That's a big part of the National Western. I won one of the, I think one of the first, it was the first or second year of the National Western scholarships. And just this year, my son was a beneficiary of another one of those National Western Fund scholarships. My daughters have shown here and have had the privilege of doing well on the Hill. And so it's been a huge family experience, and it's just part of our January.
Well, that's great. So you napping now in your tent?
We are. My mom and dad didn't have a tent back in those days, but we loaded up, and we have a tent and a heater in there and crock pots, and I think we're a little more comfortable than they were back in those days.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's right.
It is on behalf of the board of directors. Thanks so much for being here. And you know, education is the core value of National Western Association, and so hearing you talk about scholarships and education is really incredibly important to us. So thank you so much for being here, and
Well,
thanks
thank
for
you.
spending some time with us.
Thank you for all
Appreciate
the
it, Kevin.
commitment you all have demonstrated.
Kevin, thank you very much. You bet.
Appreciate it.
Kevin, yeah, good. So Kevin, you know as well as in 1906 when this facility was built, and the purpose was for marketing cattle
You
for
bet.
existing ranchers. Rolling forward today to the market, can you just expound a little bit on the marketing opportunities that the National Western gives you here through your ranch to be able to potential sell to other customers?
Yeah. I think, again, what's unique about the National Western is the aggregation of breeders from all breeds and from all across the United States and Canada that come here. I mean, this is an opportunity that I can go to state shows, I can go to regional shows, I can go to our junior national show, but when I come here, people walk by my pens that would never maybe come to my place, but they peek in my pens and they see some cattle that they like. And this gives me an opportunity to be on a stage with a much broader audience than I can get anywhere else. So that's the special part of it. I think secondly, there is still some prestige that comes with winning the National Western.
Yeah.
And we've had a good week this week, and I think there is a level of which people take you more seriously when you hang a banner from the National Western Stock Show. So that's what we're all trying to do.
Well, thanks.
I was sitting here looking at your grand champion panner
Indeed.
sitting on your pen, and
We were very blessed this week.
congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I see a grant, a reserve grant, and a premier exhibitor.
Premier Exhibitor.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome.
Pretty
Nice
special.
job.
Thank you
bet.
so much.
Taking home a bunch of silver.
We're going to try this year.
good.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
Thanks.